Hi, I just noticed there is a top vote on ElectroBOOM subreddit with almost 8,000 upvotes. It's a record, and it's about the downstairs neighbor just installed a stripper pole. What is the best way to deal with this? Oh, so the most upvoted post on ElectroBOOM is about a stripper pole? And here I thought people cared about electricity. How did they deal with it? Connect a car battery to it, but you didn't hear that from me. Ah, there. So it's an electrical solution. But a car battery? A car battery?
A car battery? Here's a car battery. See? It does nothing over the skin. Oh yeah. A car battery doesn't have enough power. I mean, it doesn't have high enough voltage to push any significant current through skin, and even over tongue. I mean, it is pretty annoying, but not dangerous unless you leave it on your tongue long enough that it cooks and electrolyzes your meat. Nobody's going to lick the pole they had their crotch on anyway.
But this is interesting. It seems like the screws have been driven through the wood, not concrete. And considering the floor separation between two apartments is around 1 foot or 30 centimeters, this seems the neighbor has used extremely long screws for excessive strength. Do you realize what that says about the pole dancer? It is Shrek dancing downstairs. But never mind that. Let's see what's a good punishment for the neighbor for shoving these poking hazards into your living space. The thing is that the pole and all its screws are touching each other and are shorted, so you can't really connect plus and minus of anything to it. It just shorts it out. And so, if I can balance this, here's my dancing rod. If you are connecting a single wire to it, even if that wire is live, it's not going to shock them because, well, don't try this. Because the circuit is open, see? Well, unless if at the same time they're also touching neutral or... Never let people touch live and neutral wires at the same time because you electrocute them, which is undesirable. And never play dangerous tricks on your neighbors. If you really need to keep dancers off your poles, you need my sponsor NordVPN. NordVPN keeps scammers, trackers, and hackers from dancing on your internet pathways. Turn it on and poof, you're someone else appearing to connect from a different country with an encryption they can't break. And yes, all that processing could slow things down. If NordVPN wasn't the fastest VPN out there, it's so fast you have to upgrade your internet just to beat it. And it's quietly protecting you against phishing attacks, fake shops and scams trying to steal your accounts or credit card. Especially since I can see your finger hovering over that suspicious link. Stop it! Get the exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 extra months free at nordvpn.com/electroboom. Risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. I don't like it. Here's your money back. I meant the stupid show I'm watching, not Nord. Go away. Alright, Nord lets you connect through the country of your choice so you can access content from other countries or your paid subscriptions at home if you're traveling. Get NordVPN and enjoy the accessible internet. Back to the issue at hand, the neighbor did screw right through the flooring like a cow, which means we can't treat them like cattle. That's why I went and bought an electric fence energizer up to 3.5 miles or 5 kilometers. This thing can create upwards of 10,000 volts and delivers them in short pulses. You know, kind of like when you touch a doorknob and get shocked. The point is to get the cattle scared of this magical wire fence. So whenever they touch it, they go, ouch, I don't like it. And they walk away. They are cattle, what do you expect? If they had a little bit of brain, they would ram the fence and break it down. Yeah, they would get shocked a couple of times, but they would be free. But then out there, they would be eaten by the wolves. So they have to make a decision between living in captivity and getting milked dry and then later be eaten by their owner, or live free and be eaten by the wolves, or just not be basic cattle anymore. Either way, the fence aims at keeping the cattle in without harming them, so the shocks are not too bad. It runs on a puny 12-volt wall adapter and boosts it up. Why does it sound like a time bomb? Let's give it a try anyways. If you have watched my travel video to Colombia where they protect their houses with these things, that wasn't as painful as this. Perhaps because it's not connected to a fence yet. See, the way it works is that you connect the positive output to the fence and negative to earth, which ideally should also be alternated between multiple rows of wires, so it will get you even if you try to jump through it. But the fence is not powered by a continuous high voltage. It would be extremely high power consuming, dangerously lethal, and a fire hazard because it would just push power through the arc. So to make it safe, this just sends powerful short pulses every second. Which means if I time it right, I should be able to touch right between the pulses. The fence wires, like a transmission line, have capacitance and inductances that suck the energy of the pulse that travels through them and dissipate it over the resistances, reducing the peak voltage. That's why, for example, this one has a 5 kilometer maximum fence length rating, because longer than that, the pulse becomes too small to zap the cattle effectively. So without the fence, the voltage gets to rise to its peak. Do you see that? That's not an LED. These are the arcs happening inside the machine every time it's trying to send the pulse out. You might say, but these internal arcs are actually shorting the output and wasting all the power instead of shocking the cattle. Why did they do that? Simple. These arcs are actually protecting the machine. See? If I connect the wires to the outputs and create the arcs externally by bringing the wires Never trust these plastic wire jackets or covers to provide proper insulation against very high voltage. Handle them like this with some plastic clamps. If I bring the wires close, oh, look at that. The internal arc doesn't happen anymore. So if the energy dissipates over the cattle or sucked away by the fence, internal arcs don't happen. They only happen when nothing on the outside dissipates the energy and the voltage rises too much and that internal arc discharges it, protecting the device. It jumps over a good distance, so it is 10 kilovolts, but instead of it being stringy like when you touch a doorknob, it's quite fluffy, indicating that the time period of the arc is much longer, which means much more energy. What happens if we short it? Nothing? The devices they use to protect their houses in Colombia, when you short them, it sets an alarm off so that they know somebody is tampering with their system. So I opened it up and how it works is simple. It uses a basic boost circuit to convert the 12 volt to a manageable few hundred volts and charges some large capacitors. And when charged enough, connects them to the input of a transformer to boost it to 10 kilovolts. Let's see if I can measure it. Here I put a 10 mega ohm and a 10 kilo ohm in series to divide the high voltage by a factor of 1,000 so it doesn't damage my scope. And also the values are so high so that they won't load the high voltage, and we should be able to... What? These resistors are clearly not rated for high voltage. It just arcs across them. I have a 1 mega ohm physically larger resistor for a factor of 100, should be good enough. Let's give that a try. Okay, it's not jumping over the resistors. Now if we measure the voltage, why is it so small? I think the internal arcs are just shorting it and reducing the voltage level. I put a couple of mega ohms parallel to the whole thing to reduce the voltage. Keep the gaps wide. Let's see. Oh, hey, okay, no arcs. Oh, there you go. Well, it is a little bit loaded because of all the resistors I connected parallel to it, but you see on a 50 volt scale, the initial pulse jumps close to minus 100 volts, which times the 100 of my resistor divider is around 10,000 volts. And then it oscillates back up and down for around half a millisecond. Okay, all good and dandy. But I'm starting to think that it might not even shock the pole dancer. Back to my Colombian video, if you remember, when I touched a single wire, it didn't shock me, only when I touched between the wire and ground. Let's do some experiments. Okay, let's try it. If I touch one of the wires, oh, I'm feeling it a little bit, not much. Ooh, sometimes it's harder. How about the other one? Nothing on the other one, but this one? Oh yeah. And I haven't even tied it to earth yet. Let's tie it to earth. There. How does it feel like now? Oh my God. Okay, it's good. Maybe it's because I'm not tied to earth. Let me take my shoe off and put my foot on the ground like a real pole dancer. Ow! Ow! Oh, okay, shocks! It is not definitely as horrible as touching both of them at the same time, but it shocks! See, can you see jumping to my finger there? We're gonna get you, pole dancer! It might not be as horrible as the punishment we are aiming to give you, but it works. So next time you dance, if you feel like you have this tinkling sensation in your crotch area, maybe you realize that you have screwed into the flooring of the top neighbor. So don't lick that pole. Why would you do that? You already had your crotch all over the pole. Frankly, if you lick that pole, you deserve the shock you get. I allow it. And you, the victim of the pole dancing society, let's not do this. Maybe the best punishment is to invite them over and have them walk over the same screw heads poking out of your floor. And that's on top of the free pole dancing preview. Yeah, that's a fitting punishment.